everybody, this is an example homework problem for 211, Module 2, Lesson 11. It asks us to estimate the product and then solve using standard algorithm. Use the thought bubbles to show your thinking. Draw an area model on a separate sheet if it helps you. Okay, so first things first, I am going to use an estimation to find a product, an estimated product, because then I'm going to compare it to make sure it's reasonable. So I have 4 13/100ths. I could round this to make it easier to multiply in my head to 4, because that is going to be the nearest whole number. Now 37, I could round that to 35, but 4 times 35 is pretty hard to do in my head still. So I am actually going to just round this up to 40, because I rounded it up to the nearest 10, and 7 is more than 5, so I raised the score. Then to find my estimate, I'm going to do 4 times 4 is 16. With the 0 at the end is 160. Okay, so now I have my estimate. I know that my answer is going to be somewhere around 160. Now I got to do 4 13/10 times 7. Now look at this. I've got my 100 spot in the same column as my 1 spot. So this is just silly. I don't want to do this because this will confuse me. I've got my place values all mixed up. So in order to be able to use this and still have them lined up, I'm going to think, oh, 4 13/100ths is the same as 413/100ths. I see that my last digit is in the 100 spot, so I'm going to think that 4 13/100ths times 100 is equal to 413. So now I can just do my standard algorithm like there's no tomorrow, or decimal right there. So 7 times 3 is 21, carry the 2. Then 7 times 1 is 7 plus 2 is 9. Then 7 times 4 is 28. Now I'm going to put a 0 to keep my place value all nice and spick and span. Then 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 1 is 3. And remember, this is from our last one, so I'm not going to carry over. And then 3 times 4 is 12. So now that I have my partial products, I'm going to add these together. So I have 1, 18, 12, 5, and 1. Now, my end product, remember, I changed this to hundredths. So my end product is in hundredths as well. Hundredths. Okay, so how am I going to change this to hundredths? Now at the beginning, I times by 100. And the opposite of times is divide. So in order to undo what I did, I can take 15,281 hundredths and I can divide it by 100 to undo my multiply by 100 and to put it in the 100th spot. So I'm going to draw my decimal, or I'm going to move this over 2 spots on the place value chart. I like to do it so I draw my decimal and I draw my place values, right? Then I take my last digit and I put it in the hundredths, and then I fill in the rest. So my final product would be 152 81 hundredths. Is that close to my estimate? 160, 152, and 81 hundredths. Yep. So I know that 4 13/100ths times 37 is 152 81 hundredths. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.